Also, back here with another video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that bell notification when I do go live and when I drop all the latest vibes. We back with another movie review. Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, Sinners. I've seen it twice. I saw it first in IMAX and I saw it second time in laser. Great experience either way. Go see it in IMAX. Spoiler alert, we're doing a full deep dive of this thing. Sinners, let's get into it. Takes place in Clarksdale, Mississippi, 1932. Prohibition, Jim Crow, KKK times, right? This film challenges your thoughts of, am I free? Big concept of freedom. You know, what does that look like? What does it feel like? Is freedom even actually obtainable? Come to realize that freedom isn't free. There's a big theme of temptation with everyone involved in the film. What will make you cross that line? What deals are you willing to make? Movie opens up with a narration and an illustration about the powers of music and its ability to cut through the space and time and also conjure up spirits that may not be too friendly. It opens up with Sammy entering the church. Sammy is bloody, dirty. He has claw marks across his face. You hear the choir girl singing "This Little Light of Mine." Without a misstep, the preacher, his father, does not even tend to Sammy. He starts to pray for him. You get these quick flashes of the horror night before that Sammy experienced, and it's just beautifully scored with like these screeches and sound cues of yells and cries and screams. It is amazing. Regarding his obsession with the blues, wanting to make blues, and begs Sammy put down the guitar. We get an intro to Smoke and Stack. Smoke is blue, Stack is red. Both war vets. After 7 years, possibly working for Capone in Chicago, they have returned, wanting to open up a juke spot. You also notice that Stack hands shake, possibly a sign of anxiety and PTSD from the war. Because of this, you see that Stack is constantly rolling cigarettes for Smoke. First half of the film is following each twin and Sammy, the cousin of the twins, as they rally up old friends and loved ones to help open up the juke bar that night. Sammy, the cousin, to play the guitar, Delta Slim, an old piano player, Bo and Grace help supply the food, Grace helps make the sign for the juke bar, Annie to cook the food for the juke bar, and Cornbread to be security or the doorman. Film did a great job of fleshing out the characters in the first half, giving some depth and backstory to who and why they are, and consequently, you know, what makes them essentially make a deal with the twins to help them that night. Every person is questioned with, what deal are you willing to make? What is your price? We are also introduced to the ex-lovers or past lovers of the twins. Mary is the ex of Stack, Annie being the ex of Smoke. The twins rally up people, reoccurring doubt and question of, will this be the only night that the juke bar is open? Will it be here today, going tomorrow type of thing? While Smoke visits Annie, we find out that they lost a child. Annie is a spiritual herb lady in a sense, but Smoke doubts her beliefs in magic because of the horrors he's seen and asks why the magic didn't work on our baby. Annie straight out answers, I don't know. We find out that even despite Smoke not believing in Annie's magic, Annie asks Smoke, do you still wear the mojo? It's a necklace that she gave him for protection. And we find out, yes, he still does wear it. So you see that full circle moment of, you know, the love and respect that he has for Annie. Even though he may not believe in the magic, he believes in Annie. I'm gonna just say this, there are some intense, intimate scenes in this movie. Wink, wink, that's all I'm gonna say. First half ends with almost like a end credit scene, a beautiful score. Felt like a send-off to like the end of a film. You get the full cast heading to the juke to prepare for opening night. The sun is setting at this time. Intro to Remick the vampire, who almost seems to fall out the sky in frame. Looks to be as if he's smoking as he approaches the home. Newsflash about vampires in this movie are like the old lore of a vampire. They need to be let in. As Remick tells the couple the story of, you know, there's been natives chasing me and, you know, they took my wife. Remick looks almost in a state of decay. Like he literally looks decrepit. Like his skin looks like it's falling off in a sense. Remick notices a clan robe that the couple has in their back room. The couple is hesitant to let him in, but after he sees this, he offers them gold, which evidently invite him in. The natives arrive looking for Remick. The lady answers the door and the natives ask her, has she seen anyone? And if she has, be aware that he is not who he seems, he's not what he seems, and I hope you didn't let him in your house. Another native urges them to leave because they see that the sun is about to go down. Sun goes down, wife calls for husband to find them upstairs, and Remick has bit the husband and the husband bites the wife. A small nugget of symbolism of birds, which we find out are turkey vultures, who eat flesh flesh and carcasses basically. As the natives left and the sun went down, you see 3 vultures land above the home of the couple, representing each person or carcass that would soon be. Cut to opening of the juke, people start to arrive and party begins. Delta Slim invites Sammy up to perform, and when Sammy performs, the opening narration starts again about, you know, the power of the music and its ability to cut through space and time and consequently invite spirits. And with this performance, we get probably the best moment in film that I've seen in a long time. It's a single shot of multicultural dancing and performance, showing the vast cultures and forms of music throughout time. I noticed that some of the performances almost felt like summonings as well, or references to supernatural. Perline performs a song named Pale Moon, which can be related to, you know, werewolves. A great narration from Delta Slim where he says, "Blues wasn't forced upon us like religion. We brought this with us, and with this ritual we heal our people and be free." Again, another callback and a reference of the idea and the concept of freedom. Remick is drawn to the juke because of Sammy's music. He fiends for the ability and the power to play like Sammy. Remick and the couple try to enter the juke spot with the offer of being musicians and wanting to spend money with them. They even play a song and a ploy to gain entry to the spot. Funny enough, Stack doesn't think they sound half bad. A nugget in this moment: before knowing or even seeing Sammy, Remick knows who Sammy is just because he hears the music. Smoke tells them to leave and advise Cornbread not to let them in. With that, Mary goes to investigate the group. She goes outside and is turned before returning in. Cornbread goes to take a piss. He's turned before returning. Mary is found biting Stack by Smoke and Sammy. Smoke immediately shoots Mary. I mean, he lights her ass up. Mary pops up immediately, laughing it off like she just got tickled. Fangs and glowing eyes and all. And she states, "We're gonna kill every last one of you." And like darts past Smoke and runs out the bar. At this time, party's over. People are leaving, getting in their cars, going home. When Stack dies in Smoke's arm, you see and feel the rage in Smoke's eyes just in this moment. This movie did a great job of making you feel. And he suggests moving Stack's body outside for the safety of the people who are inside. At the end of the day, they don't know what the hell is going on. They just saw Mary get lit up and then stand up like nothing happened and run out. Immediately, Smoke is like, "Don't touch him." And he calls Stack a dead body. And Smoke responds, "It's not a dead body, it's Stack." I feel like that was almost like relating to war, where a dead body is a wasted body. So in Smoke's mind, if you're calling my brother a dead body, you're calling him worthless or he's a waste. They leave Stack's body in the storage room. Cornbread returns, but he is different. And there's a great dialogue of the cast versus Cornbread on why now he needs to be let in. They don't let him in. He asks for his money for the night. As Smoke reaches out to give the money to Cornbread, Cornbread attacks him. Smoke shoots Cornbread in the face, and we get a great visual effect showing like half of Cornbread's face missing off. Cut to Stack knocking on the storage door, asking to be let out. He breaks down the door and he throws a liquid on him and burns him, and he runs out the bar. We find out it's garlic, and Annie states these aren't haints, which in, you know, back in that time, haints were considered like demons or, you know, evil spirits. They are vampires. Pretty much explains who they are and how to defeat them. At the same time, Remick is outside with all the patrons that he turned to vampires performing now. Like they're dancing in circles, and he's almost trying to mimic the performance that Sammy had earlier. Cut to Remick back at the door talking to the remaining people in the bar. He's pretty much trying to persuade them to join him, you know, be a vampire. This scene shows the essence of temptation and what makes someone make the decisions they do. Remick tells Smoke the truth about the man who sold them the building. The building is actually a slaughterhouse. The seller was actually a part of the KKK. They actually planned to come back the next day and kill them. This was a cool, like, vampire ability that I have never seen before. The vampires have a shared mind. They know each other's memory. Remick biting Bo, who is Chinese, he gained the ability to speak fluent Chinese, and he like recites it while trying to tempt Grace. Remick's whole thing is Remick wants Sammy's musical ability to cut through time and bring back his friends. He offers everyone safety if he can just have Sammy, and just for a second you see that Sammy is like tempted to go with them. Bo, the husband of Grace and and Remick threaten to go into town, threaten to hurt Lisa, their daughter, and Grace is tempted to join that way. Stack wants Smoke to join because he loves him. It's his brother, and he says, I can't and will not do this without you. And you know, it's me and you forever. And Smoke is tempted to join. Cut to Grace in fear for her daughter and the townspeople being hurt. She wants to act now. She's like telling Smoke, they got your brother, they turned him, they got my beau, they threatened my daughter, they threatened the whole town. What you gonna do about it, right? And Annie is like, chill, let's just wait until sunrise. We don't know what they're gonna do. They may stay here, they may not, but let's just wait until sunrise. But Grace is not having it, right? Remick and the Hive Mind start to sing again, and it's the song that they originally performed at the door when it was just the three of the whole Pick Poor Robbie Clean. You see Grace kind of like hypnotized by the song. You start seeing her like overthinking the situation and thinking about her daughter and the town and, you know, the possibilities if they don't act now, and she literally flips shit. Smoke tries to cover her mouth because she's beginning to yell. She bites his hand and yells, come on in, letting every vampire in the damn building. The final battle begins. Grace kills the husband and self, pretty much like suicide bombs. Annie is bit by Stack and Smoke stakes her. Delta Slim sacrifices himself as Sammy, Smoke, and Pearline escape upstairs. Pearline is bit. Smoke and Stack battle begin. Sammy escapes the juke but is chased down by Remick in the riverbank. Remick looks way more demonic at this time. Like, he looks bonier. His nails are longer. Looks more like a pure demon or like a pure bat. Teeth are sharper. Eyes are redder. As Remick is about to kill Sammy, Sammy begins to pray. Remick mocks Sammy, reciting the same prayer, and he starts like baptizing Sammy in the river, explaining how the people that took his father's land recited the same prayer, basically saying that religion is a lie. At the same time, the hive mind is standing right by the riverside, almost like a congregation in a church. There was a lot of moments in this movie that felt like a church choir, that felt like a church service. It literally felt like you were catching the Holy Ghost at times. You cut back and forth between, you know, Sammy and Remick, and the twins fight upstairs. By the end of the fight between the twins, Smoke gets the upper hand, and it cuts before we see Smoke kill Stack. Cut back to Remick telling Sammy he wants his stories, he wants his song, and that they will make beautiful music together. Sammy hits Remick in the head with a guitar, and a piece of the guitar gets stuck in his head, and it's almost like the guitar burns him. And at the same time, you see the hive react to Remick getting hit as if they feel it too, and that it's happening to them. Before biting Sammy, Remick is staked through the back by Smoke. The sun starts to rise, and it burns Remick and the Horde. The Horde is gone, Remick is gone. Cut to dawn. Smoke insists that Sammy buried that damn guitar. Sammy replies, I can't, it's Charlie Patton's. Smoke laughs in confusion. And you get like this beautiful dialogue that embodied the essence of Stack, making light out of a dark situation, even if it meant lying. Throughout the film, we're told how abusive the father of the twins actually was. In a sense, he was the devil for the twins. Because the truth of the matter was, the guitar was actually the twins' father's, and it wasn't Charlie Patton's like Stack had told Sammy earlier that day. Smoke awaits the clan. Sammy goes home. You get that opening scene in the church again with Sammy and his dad, but instead of Sammy getting flashbacks of the Horde incident, we get, you know, great moments he had, like meeting Pearline and performing and hanging with his cousins. Awaiting the clan, Smoke struggles to roll a cigarette due to his PTSD, his anxiety, you know, the shaking, and not having Stack there anymore to do it for him. In frustration of everything and all the loss that he's had, he snatches off the Mojo necklace and throws it on the ground. Clan arrives, and beautiful action gunfight scene. Smoke takes him out. Tommy gun, machine gun, rifles, like, it's awesome. But right before Smoke takes out the last guy, he does get shot in the side. He asks for a cigarette from the cellar, and he's so lightheaded from the gunshot, he hits the ground. He starts hallucinating, seeing Annie and his child in all white. Annie, in a sense, calls him home by saying, you can hold him if you put that cigarette down. And then after that, Smoke empties the Tommy gun into the cellar, you know. By this time, we get another beautiful flashback that Smoke experienced with everyone setting up the juke bar before sundown. Get the idea that, you know, Smoke has passed at this time. The movie finishes with Sammy in Chicago in the 90s performing, his band being named after the one he met that unforgettable night, Pearline. Sammy is at the bar, he's having a drink, and Stack and Mary enter. And Stack explains Smoke let him live in exchange for pretty much leaving leaving Sammy alone. Stack even tries to offer Sammy, you know, to turn him so that he can live longer. And Sammy is like, I've seen enough of this world. Stack asks Sammy to play one last song. And it's the first song called I'm Traveling that Sammy actually played Stack when he was younger that day back in 1932. And as he plays, you see flashbacks of the beautiful moments that Stack and Sammy had that day. Just before Stack and Mary leave, Sammy talks about that night and mentions, at least once a week, I wake up feeling paralyzed about what happened that night. He goes on to say, but before the sun went down, that was the best day. And he asks Stack, was it the same for you? Stack replies with, it was the last day he saw his brother, the last day he was with his brother, the last day he saw the sun. How everyone was together and there was no problems, and just for a few hours, they were free. And the movie ends there, and like, again, that concept and that constant like idea of like what freedom was, what freedom is, what does it look like? Is it real? Is it obtainable? Beautiful movie overall. Pros of this movie, the cinematography, the way it was shot, bruh. The music. Like I said, this movie is a concert from start to finish. It is the first time where I watched a movie that you could consider a musical, but it does it so well. The music is the same music that's being performed throughout the movie. So it's not like they just threw in stock music from something else. Like, this is all original music for this movie. The biggest con for me was just the simple fact that Grace, in frustration, sold everybody and just invited the vampires in. I feel like that was the biggest like knock. That knocked the rating off a little bit for me. I was like, of everything, like up until that point, everyone pretty much had common sense and was being very logical and was not going for the bullshit. Like at the quickest sign of bullshit, we was like, nah, we're not gonna be stupid. We're gonna figure this out, you know? I don't know if you guys even know like the lore and like the backstory of who Sammy's character was based off of. Robert Johnson from Mississippi, he was a musician who didn't play that well and pretty much went down to the crossroads and made a deal with the devil, aka Papa Legba, to pretty much be the best musician and play the best that anyone had ever heard. So it's just some cool little nuggets and gems and, you know, some stories to do some more deep dives on. I also wish that we could have got more deep dive on the natives, the gold, because there's a point in the movie where, you know, Remick mentions that this gold is from a different time in a different place. Remick is possibly hundreds, if not thousands of years old. You know, he's been here a long time. And, you know, that could be the reason why the natives, who could have been like Mayans, you know, with, you know, Aztec gold, things of that nature, could have been chasing him and hunting him for a long time. And that could have evidently what actually caused his curse of being one of the unliving. So Sinners, my rating for the movie is an 8 out of 10. If you can, go see it in IMAX, because I've been informed it won't be in IMAX long because we got Thunderbolts coming up. Everyone, the cast killed it. Great set piece. You felt like you were in Mississippi in 1932, man. But yeah, Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, Sinners. Have you guys seen this? Are you going to go see it? Are you interested? Are you debating it? Let me know. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions on the movie. I've been Old Soul Sunny. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.